We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
Escaping this. No 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 escaping this.
You are listening to the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network, hosted by my man HRap B.
King Arthur is one of those world figures whose legend never dies. Numerous films have been inspired by him, boosting his popularity. Even though scholars agree that King Arthur is just a literary invention and not an actual historical figure, popular culture can help but tell his story. Because Afro-descendant people have seen so many references to King Arthur, I thought I'd share the history of what was going on in Africa during his mythical reign. This home team here, and welcome back to another video of African history, culture, and worldview. By supporting this channel on Patreon, you're helping in the creation of these videos and supporting this content. If you'd like access to full courses and sources, or you simply want to show your support, you may do so by clicking the Patreon link in the description box below. As mentioned before, King Arthur is not an agreed upon historical figure, but he's popular enough within the diaspora to warrant a video like this. King Arthur is said to have existed in the late 5th and early 6th centuries, fighting for and defending Britain against Saxon invaders. Now, there were many things going on in Africa during this time, and so I can't mention all of them, but please feel free to mention some historical events you may be aware of that are centered around this time period. Let's begin. During the time of King Arthur, a people known as the Sao people began to settle south of Lake Chad around 500 CE. The Sao people began to construct cities and towns. These Africans developed sculptures, coins, and other artworks using iron, bronze, and copper. Historians G.T. Stride and Caroline Ifeka sum up Sao civilization the best. The Sao people possessed considerable political and artistic genius. They developed city-states which were the centers of local patriotism. Each city was surrounded by strong defensive walls and dominated the life of the surrounding countryside, which it both protected and governed. Government was by an elaborate hierarchy, headed by a divine ruler. Except on ceremonial occasions, the rulers made few public appearances and even then remained concealed from the common gaze by a screen. Women occupied a respected position in society, and the queen mother and senior sister of the ruler exercised considerable political influence on the government of the state. The Sao people were mainly settled farmers, but among them to work in both clay and metals to manufacture household utensils, tools, and works of art for religious purposes. Impressive objects found by archaeologists include burial urns and figures of animals and human beings, both in clay and bronze. Sao civilization is one of the more neglected topics in African history, but interestingly enough, they achieved a sophisticated civilization before many other Africans in their general vicinity. Going further west on the continent, all the way to Mauritania and Mali, during the time of King Arthur, the Ghana Empire was in the early stages of its prime. Ghana, also known as Wagadu, was the first empire in West African history. From the onset, Ghana was known for its vast wealth, being immediately associated with gold mines and affluent kings. One Muslim writer named Al-Hamdani tells us that at the time, Ghana possessed the richest gold mine on earth, and Ibn Halkal tells us that the king of Ghana was the richest sovereign on earth. The principal Muslim writer on this history, named Al-Bakri, mentions that Ghana possessed twin towns, one for the king and the other for Muslim merchants. The king's town is 6 miles distant from this one and bears the name of Al-Gaba. Between these two towns, there are continuous habitations. The houses of the inhabitants are of stone and acacia wood. The king has a palace and a number of domed dwellings, all surrounded with an enclosure like a city wall. Not only was Ghana one of the wealthiest empires on earth, according to Muslim writers, more importantly, Ghana was able to protect that wealth with its vast army. Al-Bakri tells us that the king of Ghana could field an army of 200,000 men, of whom over 40,000 were archers. Now, despite the fact that most scholars believe this to be an exaggeration, the power projection of Ghana was still very impressive nonetheless. Ghana was no doubt the principal civilization in West Africa during the time of King Arthur. And last but not least, during the time of the legendary King Arthur, one ruler of the Sudanese kingdom of Nobatia was becoming more prominent, establishing Nobatia as a powerful state in northeastern Africa. Nobatia was a Christian kingdom located between the First and Second Cataracts in Lower Nubia, and it began to form around 400 CE. Christian churches were built along the Nile, and ancient temples were converted into Christian places of worship. One of the kings who is believed to have advanced this was a monarch named King Silko. He's remembered as being one of the most prominent figures in medieval Sudanese history. The origins of the Nobatia people are not well known or understood, and even though it's not at all conclusive, they may have migrated to the Nile Valley from the west. There's an important inscription concerning King Silko of his military exploits. It's not only important because it documents medieval Sudanese military history, but it's important as it relates to a possible reference concerning the institutionalization of the Christian faith in Nobatia. King Silko attributed his victory to what some scholars believe to be the Christian God, but others aren't as convinced to the Christian background of King Silko, however. From the words of King Silko himself, I, Silko, mighty king of the Nobide and of all the Ethiopians, I have twice come as far as Talmus and Taphis. I fought against the Blemies, and God gave the victory once, together with 3 others. A further time was I victorious. I destroyed their town and settled therein with my troops. Since I became a mighty king, I did not follow other kings, but I rather marched before them. As for those who strive with me for mastery, I do not leave them in peace in their own lands, unless they implore my mercy. For in the plain I am a lion, in the mountains a goat. One scholar asserts that this inscription by King Silko is an historical benchmark for this period. As he consolidated his power, he's also believed by some to have initiated the Christianization process in Lower Nubia. Just as King Arthur was legendary in Britain, so too was King Silko in Sudan. The only difference is that one was a real hero for his people in his time and place, and the other was not. Little known outside of Nubian studies specialists and a handful of church historians, the Nubian king Silko was to ancient Nubia what Constantine was to Rome and the legend of King Arthur was to Britain, a founding Christian monarch and a transitional historical figure. Well, I'm all out, guys. I'm hoping you learned a little something about what was going on in Africa during the time of the legendary King Arthur. And if you like these videos, consider supporting the home team on patreon.com. The link is in the description box below. Know thyself. Remember your ancestors. Peace.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on what time you're watching this, that's appropriate. This is HRap B. This is the End of the Bench on Built for This Network. As usual, this is a podcast, which means you cannot miss it. We are broadcasting live currently on YouTube and on Spreaker.com. If you want to catch us later, you can go to either location, or you can go to YouTube, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, and Amazon Prime. Look for Built for This Network, and you'll be able to subscribe, share, comment, and support. Thank you. Now, as I do every week, I want to salute my family, my ancestors, as well as the people who are still here with us. Those are the people connected to the name Pollard, Whitmore, Patterson, Turner, Cotton Battle, Harper, Bailey, Shaw, Thompson, Chris, Lansdowne, Ligon, Duncan, and you already know, I'm Brian Williams, HRap B, and everybody connected to that. You got mad love for me, and I got mad love for them. Thank you. Now, as I do every week, man, we are going to build and destroy. We're going to build up our community and destroy the lies and the propaganda, and we are hopefully, I'm going to put you in a position to whereas build some pride, prepare you for what's around the corner, and it is a superpower when you are a person of African descent on the continent of North America. You have the superpower of seeing around the corner. And what I mean by that, you can see things before they happen. We've done those senses down in the past, but what my goal is to sharpen those swords so we can be prepared for whatever's coming down the road. Now, the reason I did that thing about King Arthur, even though the narrator even said that King Arthur is a fictitious person, the reason I did that is I want to remind people where we come from, and you see where we were coming from. You see the greatness about our ancestors, which means that greatness lies within each and every one of us. Some of us are carpenters, some of us are architects, some of us are bricklayers, some of us are comedians, actors, actresses, shoot off your mouth like me, rappers, poets, singers, dancers, mathematicians, historians, so forth and so on. Greatness lies within you. It's just a matter of you slowing down, not being encapsulated with what's going on around you, and then tapping into that and making it flourish. That's the key. That is truly the key. The reason I'm talking about these things today is because we are in danger. Presently, we are in danger. I'm going to say it again. At this very moment, the people of African descent and the descendants of the people who were enslaved from Africa that live on the continent of North America in the place that in the settler colonies called the United States, you are in danger. The reason you're in danger is because we haven't engaged. If you know me, you've heard me speak negatively about the electoral process. I still feel the exact same way, but I can either preach to you about how I think it should be, or what I can do is offer you an alternative, and then we can use that alternative to become successful as possible. I choose the latter of the two. The reason I choose the latter of the two is because I don't give a damn about being right. I give a damn about my folks. And if you are a disenfranchised or underserved person, I care about you as well. But my main focus at this point is my folks. And when I say that, I mean this. I look at the landscape of the political landscape of the United States of America today, the settler colony, the criminal settler colony is called the United States of America. I'm going to keep saying that, yeah. I'm going to keep saying, just like y'all keep saying black on black crime, just like y'all keep saying my people are criminals, just like the drug addicts, do nothing's lazy and things of that nature. I'm going to say what I had to say as well. Free country, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to identify some things that I have a problem with. And hopefully you have the same problem. If we had the same problem, you could share with your friends and they can share with their friends and we can come together, galvanize as we once were, as we still are by and large. My goal is to destroy all that, debunk all that nonsense. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. If it's either millions, it's either dozens, hundreds, thousands, millions, or just a few of us. I'm going to do it. Now, with that being said, we are on the precipice of danger. A couple weeks ago, I had my main man, Ray the Kev, on the show. We talked about firearms. And we talked about the dangers of not having them and the importance of learning about them. The reason we're doing that is because if you are paying anything that resembles attention to mainstream media and the way people are interacting and the things that are being said on shows like Rachel Maddow, those Fox guys over there, or any place in this country, it is anti-us. See, we are being, what's the word I want to use? We're being curated. We're being curated into believing other things are problems. Like, oh, Dave Chappelle and the LGBTQ. How the hell does that affect me and you? Huh? It doesn't. It doesn't. Because guess what? Every human being that ever walked the face of this earth has been offended at some point. And you know what? Every adult on earth has been offended at some point, unless you live in a cave or something under a rock. If you interact with the general population of the world, you've been offended. So if Dave Chappelle offended a community and they misunderstood him, or he misunderstood them, or whatever the case is, so freaking what? I don't care. Because it has no bearing on me and my folks. We're being curated at all times, folks. I showed y'all a couple of weeks ago how you're being curated. How are you being curated? Like when I gave you the test with the yellow. And then I said, what's the first fruit you think of? You said lemon and banana. Because I said yellow a bunch of times. We're being also curated to believe things are changing and actually regressing. Shout out to my man, Dr. Greg Carr, head of Africana Studies at Howard University, and the nonsense that's going on at Howard University. Yeah, I did it. So what? But we're being curated into things. See, sound is the most important thing at all times. Visual means a lot, but see, you can make things. You can do things like, remember when we were kids, you make your thumb disappear. You do this and your thumb disappear. You can see something that's not actually there. People like David Copperfield, David Blaine, they make millions of dollars because they made things look like they would. So sound, you can't make things sound anyway. So I keep feeding you information that is biased, that is fictitious, that I'm keying on you. And then you go along with it. You got people like the president. Remember, he made that stupid ass statement. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Because he's been around us. And we're going to talk about that stuff Thursday night. But he's been around us and he's sucked up some of our culture. And he thinks he's a part of the culture and he's not. But the reason I'm bringing him up is Joe Biden made a whole lot of promises to us and we have yet to hold his feet to the fire on any of them. John Lewis bill, the George Floyd bill. And see, these things, we must figure out how to play the game. The game is to offer something to them, have them support something that they're totally against. I'm starting to believe that Joe Biden is working hand in hand with the Republican Party. I mean, after all, his mentor is a staunch racist, Strom Thurmond. Staunch racist. He did the eulogy on Strom Thurmond, one of the greatest racists in modern era in the United States federal government. Joe Biden eulogized him. I couldn't hang out with somebody who even if I didn't know you were racist, once I identify you as a racist, I must remove you from my life. And that's even if you're a racist on my side of the fence, but that's neither here nor there. See, when I say curated, this is what's being done. The Republican Party, they had what was called an autopsy when they lost that second Obama election. And that autopsy told them what they were doing and what made them lose the races. They balled that autopsy up and threw it in the garbage, threw it right in the trash. and they double down on what they're doing. They make things very simple. All of them stay in line. All of them, they cut down their nonsense, and they get right to brass tacks. We want control of this country at all times. Excuse me, hiccups. That's it. They want total domination of this world, concentration. Shout out to De La Soul. That's all they want. They want to control things, and they will lie. They will give out falsehoods, and they will create what is called red herrings. And those red herrings, one of the red herrings that they threw out there so you will focus on this and not what's actually going on. Critical race theory. Critical race theory is a graduate school's term. You only get the class critical race theory if you're in law school. Yeah, the actual truth can be taught at any level, but critical race theory, I personally believe it was put out there to incite white people. See, I want you to put yourself in white shoes for 1 second. Don't do that. I want you to put yourself in your own shoes. I want you to imagine, I have a videotape of every ill you've ever done in your life, every lie you've ever told, every time you did something sneaky, something, steal something, take something without permission, whatever it is, every wrong you have done. And I said, we're going to take a class on one of the people who helped support HRap. And we're going to put it on YouTube. Everything he ever did wrong in his life. You will go, oh, no way. I don't want that. No way in hell we doing that. And let's just, now imagine if you were a public figure. Same situation. We're going to tell the whole world everything that you've done wrong. And you're world widely respected. You don't want that. Even if it's very few things, you just don't want the whole world. As they say, we don't want your slip. You don't want your slip showing, right? Critical race theory does that. So if you start talking about critical race theory in front of a bunch of white people, most of them, even the good ones, will go, we don't have to go all that. Nah, not really. What it will do is expose people. And then, all these falsehoods like black people are lazy, black people are less intelligent, black women are not attractive, black men are not attractive, black people are good for nothing. All those tropes that they put on us. We've invented everything. We're the good, they're the bad. We have to kill the Indian. All that stuff. Those things would no longer exist. You know why? Because those are all falsehoods. Would you want the whole world to know everything that they've learned about you is a damn lie? No, you wouldn't. That's why they put my personal perspective. The Republican Party made a big effort to put critical race theory at the front of mainstream media. Guess why? It incites white people. And then you know what else it does? It stops us from talking about the George Floyd bill, the John Lewis anti-lynching bill from 1986. 1986. Been on the table since then. Bush didn't do it. Clinton didn't do it twice. Other Bush didn't do it twice. Obama didn't do it once. Trump didn't do it. And Biden hasn't done it as of yet. But, hey, we're not talking about that anymore. Are we talking about the crime bill to stop people from, stop police from destroying our young black men, women, and anybody else in our community? We're not talking about that anymore. See, those are the ways you lose an election. When you talk about, look, how about this? We have a big-time election coming next year, right? Why aren't the politicians who are attempting to be governors, mayors, state representatives, and state senators, why aren't they talking about all those people who died last year due to incompetence at the top? We ain't talking about that anymore. When last time you turned on the news and found out it was this many people died in COVID? We ain't talking about that anymore. You know what we talk about? We talk about mandates. Strike against Joe Biden. This is why I'm starting to believe that he's in cahoots with them, because that party thing is a joke. The party thing is a raw dog, buck naked joke. Period. Point blank, period. End of sentence, full stop. It's a joke because the Republicans freed the people who were enslaved. Remember? Yeah. And the Dixiecrats and the Democrats. And look, anytime that you can hang out and be comfortable around people who are hate mongers, you might just be a hate monger. Period. There's no way around it. See, the Dems are full of it. The Republicans' goal is to take over the country and take us back to the 50s. And you think, oh yeah, man, that's right. Nah, the 1850s. See, 1850. Where the vast majority of our ancestors were enslaved. Some of us are landowners, and we were at the mercy of hating infidels, because we the people know to form a more perfect union. So these are the things that I look at. I look at the television, look at the news. Why is it that people will start being told to go vote in January? Why won't you start told to go vote Democratic Party when you saw the former president Donald J. Trump not doing what you felt was necessary to keep people alive? Why don't you start registering people to vote then? See, there's something else that the Democratic Party didn't do. The census. What usually happens after the Census Bureau is taken? The census are taken. Gerrymandering. You know what gerrymandering is? What they do is each district of people are grouped up, and then they create districts. And when you create the districts, that means you'll take half the black people on this corner, half the black people on that corner, and put them with 80% white people and 80% white people. Now, the people who are in those bigger groups have the same ideology, and those people in those smaller groups are washed out. But you've never heard the Democratic Party talk about the Census Bureau. So we can maintain power, so we can make sure you get proper representation. You never hear them talk about that. I wonder why. It's interesting. But around August of next year, maybe around June, vote, register to vote, register to vote, register to vote. This is a big time election. Your life depends on it. You'll hear that all next year. Should have been hearing it this year. And this is what I'm telling you guys. Be prepared. See, we keep talking about critical race theory. We should be teaching our own children critical race theory, because when they go to school, they find out George Washington never lied. Abraham Lincoln was an honorable man. He was the friend to the African. Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson. They were, oh man, it was this, it was that. Nah, these people are wicked and evil. They own people. How could you be a good person and own somebody and destroy them and denigrate them and strip them of their humanity? Sound like a good person to you? Guess what? The fictitious person that we call the devil, he don't even do that. He just makes suggestions. He just presents you with options, and you make the bad decision. So we're looking at a situation to whereas people, get your ass in gear, you're going to be in trouble. I'm here to tell you. Joe Biden is not our friend. The Democratic Party is not our friend. But what we can do is this. We can get together, galvanize, and move in one direction. I don't need to like you. I don't need to like you to do what's right by you. Me and you, by and large, the people who support me, thank you. We're part of the same tribe. We're part of the same tribe, people. And if you don't support the tribe, then what are you going to do? See, you going to go to school to learn the truth? Really? When was the last time you learned the truth in school, outside of mathematics? History won't teach you the truth. See, the reason history is being bandied about right now is because it incites white people and it angers black people. And then you get civil rights fatigue. Oh man, you think we're gonna do this with Stacey Abrams every time? You think we're gonna do this with Cliff? All votes matter all the time? Yeah. Because if you don't engage, if you don't get involved, you're gonna get into it. Again, man, I don't believe in the system, but what I do know is this: if you attack the system properly, you can change the system. Stop telling that lie to yourself, because that's the only person who believe that lie is you. Is the system is broken. No, the system works perfectly. It might be the greatest system in the history of the world. And then I see people who I know are wildly intelligent. They go, I don't believe. I can't believe what I'm hearing. You're drinking the Kool-Aid because you believe. See, you believe what our great ancestor Kwame Ture, most commonly known as Stokely Carmichael, or maybe Kwame Ture is his most popular name. I'm not sure, but Stokely Carmichael is a name that he's known by as well. He said the only mistake Dr. King made was searching for the humanity in people who didn't have it. If people are willing to oppress you, they have no humanity. They don't. And you think they're going to tell the truth and give you a fair shot? You have to take it. You have to take it. So we're not going to talk about critical race theory anymore, people. Let's stop. We don't have to talk about that. Because guess what? The reason we don't have to talk about it is because what we're going to start doing is going to Sankofa Bookstore. It's in D.C. It's online. Go online, Sankofa Bookstore. As a matter of fact, I'll look it up as I talk. We're going to go to Sankofa Bookstore, right? And as we go to Sankofa Bookstore, you know, we are going to order books from there. And then when we order books from there, we'll get the proper history that we need. Excuse me. We'll get everything that we need. We'll get everything, all the history that we'll need. We'll always want it to be taught, and we'll purchase it. And we'll read to our grandchildren, like my main man, Big Illinois. He got 2 beautiful grandchildren. Big Illinois is a well-grounded brother. He would do this and sit down with little Zach, and I don't know his granddaughter name. I'm sorry, Big Illinois. It's a bookstore in D.C. I'm looking up the website right now. And here we go. I'm gonna put this in the chat room, in both chat rooms, on Spreaker.com and right here on YouTube with me. There you go, Sankofa Bookstore right there, and you will get super dope books that you need, that you yearn, and that your grandchildren and children learn. I see you, Chief Rock, on both sides, my man. And what we're gonna do is start sharing this that information with our grandchildren, with our children, with our significant others, with our potential significant others, with our friends. And instead of knowing all the stats, instead of knowing that Terry Bradshaw won a league MVP and 2 Super Bowl MVPs, we're going to learn about people like Madam C.J. Walker, Addie Malone. We're going to learn about Sister Queen Azinga, the ancestors. We're going to learn about that. And that's going to be the most important thing we're going to talk about going forward. Am I telling you don't watch sports? Nope. But we're gonna prioritize our history, our culture, and make that. So we're not talking critical race theory anymore. We're gonna start talking about reparations. We're gonna talk about protecting us in these anti-lynching bills, and we're gonna talk about our history all the time. And then we need to be entertained. We're gonna talk about football, baseball, basketball, soccer, hockey, power, and all other shows that are on TV that are starring us. Big ups to Jay-Z for executive producing that The Harder They Fall. Much love. And see, these are the things that we need to be concerned with. Critical race theory is not important at this point because fuck school. Damn school. School is where you're not gonna learn about how dope we are. I'm not gonna be in the news. I'm not gonna be in the book. You're not gonna be in the book. But there's a bunch of people out there that are in books that are awesome, that will inspire your grandchildren, inspire your children, inspire your significant other, your cousins, neighbors, and friends. That's critical race theory. But you know what? Cultural education. That's what that is. So we're not going to allow the politicians to tell us what to and what not to learn anymore. We don't have to. What do we need them teaching us for? We dope already. It is what it is. We must organize. This is why your schools are jacked up, because the people in those parties with the donkey and the elephant, the jackass and the pachyderm, they've already organized. They got us believing that they are our friends, and they are not. How is it that for 400 years we've been here? How is it that for 158, 160 some odd years we've been free or emancipated, or we won a war for them? We won a war for them, but we can't get fair treatment. That's because we keep attempting to assimilate into a system that does not want us. I'm going to say that in layman's terms. We keep trying to date the cute girl, the cute boy, and they don't want us, and we keep chasing them. You wouldn't do that. So why are you doing it with the Republican and Democratic parties? Because you've bought into the system. The system hates you. Say it. Say it with me. The system hates you. But now it's time to not hate, but do what we must do. We must organize. The people on the other side that are diametrically opposed to everything that we want to do, you know what they do? They send people to city council meetings and argue against everything that we want. And that's how schools are defunded. They send people to city council meetings, school board meetings, and things of that nature. That's why you see somebody arguing vehemently against critical race theory, and you come outside and they go, well, I don't really know what it is, I just don't like it. Do you know how freaking ignorant that sounds? You sound like a damn fool. I don't know what something is, but I'm just against it. That's like when you were a kid. I don't want to eat that. What it tastes like, I don't know. It just don't look good. I don't know what critical race theory is, but I just don't like it. Anything, what they're really saying, again, in layman's terms, I don't like black people and I don't want them to get a fair shot. You got people out here talking about, we don't want this to be any more divisive, because the more divisive it gets, we don't want our children's feelings hurt. But my children's feelings hurt every day. My son's scared to go outside. If I had a grandson, he'd be scared to go outside. My granddaughter, I'm worried about my daughter when she go out hang out with her friends, because I don't know if the police or these ignorant ass bigots that walk the street gonna attack my daughter. Then I'm gonna have to kill a whole bunch of people, flat out. Call me a monster. Say what you want. It is what it is. I'm HRap B. You know how to get at me. At HRap_B at Instagram and on Twitter. Inbox open. Or shoot the gift at me live and direct. But we must get organized, people. We do. We have to get organized. Because if we don't get organized, we're done. We're done. We are done. School board meeting, talking points, city council meetings. We must get involved. You must talk to everybody in your family immediately. We must download the 5 call apps and start putting pressure on these people. We need to talk to 5 people. We got, how many group texts are you in talking about movies, TV, sports, and foolishness? Everybody is in one, at least. I'm in 3. I've created 3. Well, 2. So, come on, man. We must put ourselves in position to win this war. We must put ourselves in position to win this war. Otherwise, we're done. We are done. I'm about to share a video with you guys, man. This video is important because it shows you how awesome our people are. I may have to start over. I don't remember if I started from the beginning. If so, you're going to have to deal with it. So it's live and direct, man. After this, I continue the show. Hopefully it's educational. This is HRap B. It's built for this network, the End of the Bench Podcast. I'll be right back at you.
I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. Welcome to the Black Excellence and Abundance Channel. In 1998, the proceedings of the National Academy of Science concluded a study by the Chinese Human Genome Diversity Project and made public their findings, which stated that most of the population of modern China, 1/5 of all the people living today, owes its genetic origins to Africa. The study was the result of a consortium of several leading research groups in the People's Republic of China in combination with the Human Genetics Center at the University of Texas Health Center in Houston, Texas. In addition to genetic evidence linking China to Africa, archaeological evidence has recorded close to 100 pyramids that are located in a 100-kilometer area around the city of Xi in central China. I can't help but wonder, why are these pyramids shrouded in mystery? What are they hiding? This site is also well known as the location of the famous life-size terracotta warriors. Further study of this history and art of the Shang and the Zhou dynasties in China will reveal even more African influence. This information and evidence points to a clear interaction and anthropological connection to China's African roots.
China's first dynasty and emperor were Africoid, or Black origins. Founded by King Te, the earliest documented rulership in China was the Shang or the Xiang dynasty. The Shang were credited with unifying China's earliest elements to form their first civilization. The Shang were given the name the Naki, Na meaning black and Qi meaning man. The first Chinese emperor, the legendary Fuxi, was a woolly-haired black man. Among his credits are establishing government and originating social institutions as well as cultural inventions. He is said to be the originator of the I Ching, the Book of Change. It is among the oldest and most revered system of philosophy. Emperor Hung Wu was founder of the Great Ming Dynasty of China. He was African, Sudanese, and Mongolian descent, and was also a Muslim. The skills that set the foundation for Shaolin Kung Fu descend from India and Africoid origins. Even in the White Garment Hall of the Shaolin Monastery in Hunan, province of China, there are 12-foot-long paintings of Chinese and Africoid Shaolin monks training boxing skills together. Although not promoted and somewhat hidden, it shows striking evidence of the deep interrelation of Africa, the martial arts, and Asia. There have been efforts made to cover up the facts. Even the original Chinese, called Li Min, and the Ainu of Japan were Africans. Also, there are books written to prove this fact.
Such as The African Presence in Early Asia, authors Dr. Ivan van Sertima and Runoko Rashidi, and African Star Over Asia, The Black Presence in the Early East by Runoko Rashidi, and there are many others.
China's first dynasty and emperor, founded by King Te, who was black. The earliest documented rulership of China was the Shang dynasty from 1500 to 1008 BC, which is credited with bringing together the elements of China's earliest civilization. The Shang was given the name Naki under the Black dynasty. The Black Chinese established the basic form of graceful calligraphy that has lasted to the present day. The first Chinese emperor, the legendary Fuxi, was without a doubt black, and his African brothers and sisters established government, social institutions, and cultural inventions. They are credited with the creation of the I Ching, or the Book of Change, which is the oldest, most revered system of prophecy. It is known to have influenced the distinguished philosophers of Chinese thought. These African offspring were responsible for the building of China's earth-mound pyramids, which are today mistaken for hills due to their eroded appearance and size. The pyramids in Japan are not made of stone indigenous to Japan. It is said that small black people built them during the Mu civilization. We know that the pyramids built around the world were all built by black people, as no other people have a history of building pyramids, judging by the contents of all the pyramids.
There are people who would dispute this fact. However, I challenge anyone to take a good, honest look at the contents of the pyramids throughout the world and find out who the builders of the pyramids are, based on the contents of the pyramids. And you will find that they are inevitably black people. anybody to research any of the videos and any of the information that we find, and you will see that we are not racist at all. We are simply telling the truth about our people. Telling our truth, our story. We also like to point out that in a genetic study published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Genetics, scientists found evidence that the first Africans arrived in China around 60,000 years ago. Population researcher and geneticist Li Jin said, "Our work shows that modern people came to Southeast Asia and then moved to northern China. This supports the idea that modern people came from Africa. In later ages, they were responsible in 210 for constructing an elaborate tomb for Shen Shi Hujuan. His body is guarded by an army of soldiers, warriors made out of the terracotta. They are also credited with building the Great Wall of China." That's right, folks. Black people had a very big hand in the building of the Great Wall of China. This is very interesting because this is a little known fact. I repeat, there is strong evidence that the Great Wall of China was built by black people. There is also evidence of a substantial population of blacks in early China. Archaeological studies have located an infrastructure which was inhabited by blacks in early Chinese history, and reports of major kingdoms ruled by blacks are frequent in Chinese documents. In the earliest Chinese history, several texts in classical books spoke of these diminutive blacks. The Toruli, composed under the dynasty of Tivu, 1122 to 249 BC, give description of the inhabitants with black features. Chinese folklore speak often of these blacks and mention an emperor of Chinese named Li, 373 to 397. He was companion of the emperor Xiaowenwei, who was spoken of as being black African, and the kingdom of blacks in the southwest of China. Chinese folklore speak often of these blacks and mention an emperor of Chinese named Li, companion of the emperor Xiaowenwei, who was spoken of being black African, and the kingdom of blacks in the southwest of China. The sacred Manchu dynasty shows a great multitude of black people. Emperor Po Yi of the Manchu Kawa, direct descendants of the Manchu ruler of China, is most distinctly black. Chinese Chronicle reports that a black empire existed in the south of China at the beginning of the country's history. So you see, folks, black people were there at the very beginning. In Sheikh Anta Diop's writing, African Origin of Civilization, the ancient black royal house of China, 1766, 1100 BC, called the Shang, contributed mightily to China's earliest known civilization. Now, this history is a little known fact in history. The fact that black people were at the very beginning of the Chinese Empire lets us know that we have a history that is unexplored and that is many times, unfortunately, hidden from us. The truth of the matter is, we don't need to take a backseat to anybody, because oftentimes you will find that we were there at the very beginning of the establishments of great, great civilizations. The Black Excellence and Abundance channel, where black history is every day. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And never forget that thou art rich.
Welcome back. This is HRap B for Built for This Network. This is the End of the Bench Podcast. Thank you for keeping your ears on, keeping your eyes on, or whatever way you are listening. Thank you for tuning in. As I stated, my goal is to make sure we are on point. As you just saw, this is why you just saw why. You just saw why. I'm going to say it again. You just saw why we don't have to teach critical race theory in our schools. All we have to do is read. All we have to do is Google with purpose, because we know the algorithm on Google sends you false information. So you have to cross-reference it. You can't be lazy. When you look up something on Google, make sure you're looking it up as if your life depended on it. Check it 3 times before you state it. Now, as you just saw, you've learned nothing on that video in elementary, high, or even higher education. We have people in the chat room who are straight A students. We have people who didn't go to school at all. We have people who are college graduates. We have people from all walks of life. And more than likely, it is probably a 99.9% chance you heard none of that stuff I just showed you before. This is why critical race theory is totally irrelevant. And this is why you must teach your people, your folks around you, your brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, cousins, neighbors, friends, other family members, co-workers, or whoever you come in contact with. Educate them about us. Because when you educate them about us, it intrigues you. Hopefully that sends you down a rabbit hole and you learn some things that you never known before. Now, I'm going to take a brief detour. I'm going to talk about health for just a second. And I'm going to show you how wicked the world is today. Black women, you have a 31% survival rate of breast cancer. That's the lowest survival rate on earth. It's partially because of our diet, the stress that you deal with, and other things. But I'm going to bring up some things that I found out this week, that these are contributors to our health as well, our sisters' health, our sisters' mothers, aunts, grandparents, grandmothers, mothers. You know, I notice a lot of sisters are doing this natural thing right now. And they'll say, hey man, I don't use perm, I use Brazilian blowout. Brazilian blowout has chemicals in it that heightens your chances of getting breast cancer. Another thing is any hair relaxer. If it's relaxing your hair, it's putting you in jeopardy. If it's relaxing your hair, it's putting you in jeopardy. It increases your chances of having breast cancer. The third thing is skin lightening products. They'll tell you that we're putting this on here because they actually bump your hair right here. You know, get that blemish away. If you really want to get rid of that blemish, go get you some pure aloe vera. Pure aloe vera. And as usual, anytime I'm educating sisters, the goddamn internet starts acting crazy. Bill paid in full. I'm not even a foot away from the modem, and I even use the Ethernet cord, so there's no way in hell my internet should be messing up. But anyway, skin lightening products, blemish removers, those have chemicals in it that enhances your chance with breast cancer. And the last thing that a whole lot of sisters are using, acrylic nails. Acrylic nails enhance your chances of breast cancer. They're chemicals that you're putting in and on top of your body that enhances your chances of death. So I'm going to need my sisters to stop paying attention to the Euro way of thinking, where your hair must be a specific way, where your skin must look a specific way in order for you to be beautiful. You're beautiful right off the rip. So tell your wives, your sisters, your aunts, your grandparents, your grandmothers, whoever, all the women in your life, let them know about Brazilian blowout treatments. No good. Any hair relaxer, lie or no lie, no good. Skin lightening cream, blemish remover. Leave the blemish there. You super dope with it or without it. Get you some aloe vera. And acrylic nails. I don't want to see none of y'all die. Period. I don't see nobody die. But definitely, if black women start dying, it's over. But actually, we can make black kids. and then repopulate the world with all these black kids. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about that. But I need sisters to lay off that nonsense. We don't need to look like Europeans. They chasing us. Those Victorian dresses that look like a waterfall, those are invented so it look like white ladies got booties. They've been chasing y'all the whole time, and now we chasing them. You couldn't get no love for Thelma in the 70s in the good times. No Walona love, but Farrah Fawcett was everywhere. Regular looking white lady. Denise Nichols, so forth and so on. Jane Kennedy. They weren't getting no love, but now all of a sudden everybody want to look like Denise Nichols, Jane Kennedy, Thelma from Good Times. Big butts, big lips, beautiful faces. And intelligent. All those women are intelligent. So just need y'all to pay attention to what's going on. Now, before I close out the show, I'm gonna go in about mainstream media. There's no such thing as media. Me and the African Diaspora channel on YouTube and a few other people, Tariq Nasheed and others, this is about close. You're gonna get the real media. Anytime you have corporate entities owning news, there is no honesty because it's clickbait. If you don't believe me, do yourself a favor. Go to Vlad TV. Vlad TV. Y'all know I hate him. I'd push him in the street right in front of a bus if I could. I'm not lying. Because he makes our people look like damn fools, and we're not. He takes advantage of the less informed. The dictionary definition of ignorant young black men. I'm not calling it ignorant ass. No, I'm not doing that. I'm talking about black men that don't know. Young black men that don't know. Look at the titles. He said, last title I saw was Rafe Austin, aka Skip to Malou, doesn't like Jalen Rose. And I looked and I actually watched it. Skip to Malou said, I ain't like Jalen Rose at the time. He said he hated Jalen Rose and Jalen Rose hated him, but it's all love now because they was vying for time. But you'll click on it and think that it's beef. First of all, why in the hell are you so intrigued by beef between brothers? Like my dumb ass. Guilty. I'm not above any of these mistakes that we make. I'm not above them. It's what I do too. But we need to move ourselves away from nonsense like this. Finding foolishness entertaining. And these corporate entities that they call themselves the news, they're not even making waves. Remember when I used to do sports, I used to always tell y'all statistics are like bikinis. They show you a lot, but they don't tell you everything. A few weeks ago, Sean Hannity had the most watched news show in America. So, when I say you got the #1 watch show in America, you would automatically think, that's a lot of people. 75 million people voted for Trump. Shit. At least 35, 40 million watching Hannity every night. #2 was Rachel Maddow. Now watch this. Everybody, if you're in the know, you know that there are over 300 million people in America. 300 million people in America. Those are the people who are watching Sean Hannity. Take a wild guess how many people watch Sean Hannity every night. 3 million. It's like 2.8 for Rachel Maddow. So you talking about collectively 6 million people watching these people, but they say they're the #1, and you think a whole bunch of people. See, this is why you cannot pay attention to the media, because they'll sell you a bag of shells, man. It's nonsense, and you'll believe it, and you believe, oh man, everybody watching that. Everybody watching the 50 Cent show. Everybody watching The Wire. Nah, we watching that. See, we over-index of exactly 3 to 4 million people total. Big Illinois. Yes, 3 million people watching Sean Hannity, 2.8 million people watching Rachel Maddow, and that's #1 and #2 and 300 million. So you know that's fucking 10% of the people. Not even, man. 3% of the people. As a matter of fact, collectively, you got 6% of the people watching. But you'll see they'll put a clip on there like Vlad did, and a bunch of us, 20 million people click on it, and then you think you know the story. This is why I continue to ask you to have people watch with you. Watch, subscribe, I'm gonna get you the truth as much as I can, because it's what we need, man. It's what we need. Because if we keep falling for this nonsense, we're gonna be dead soon, man. They try to bring slavery back. These people hate us. They hate us, and there's no way around it. They freaking hate us, man. And if you don't believe that, then you hate yourself. Because every time something comes up to protect us, they fight. That means you don't like something. If you don't like something, if you would have let me die, you don't like me or hate me. I'm going with hate. Because I don't like a lot of stuff, and I don't care how it works. So that's crazy, man. Fucking crazy. So, with that being said, man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. My man Finest Wine, he started a new show tonight, man, on his show. If you can get a chance to go to Finest Wine Cooking, he started it right around now. Check him out, man. D is dope. I want y'all to support my main man in the chat room, Rated Kev. Rated Kev. Check him out, man. We talk all the time. Awesome brother. I want you to support my man Doc. His show comes on in 29 minutes. King. Oh, there you go, right there. There you go, right there, man. Salute. Just spoke you up, brother. Salute. Check him out, man. Support that brother right there, man. Support that brother right there. That's my man. And I want y'all to, support Rated Care. Support Doc on BS3 Network. They on Roku TV right now, man. They killing it. My man Doc and his three sisters, Nicole, Mika, and goddamn, I never remember his other sister's name. That's horrible. I gotta think Mika and whatever. Third sister. I'm sorry, she's gonna kick me in the head when I go back down to text. Yes. But go over there and support Dog. Support my man D on Finest Wine. Awesome brother, awesome content. I go through, support him and Rated Care every time. You don't have to be in here to support me. You can watch this right now. You can watch it tomorrow. You can watch it 365 days from now. It's gonna be there, man. I need y'all to realize, man, it's war going on outside. Ain't nobody safe. People are evil in this country. Most people love ignorance. Most people are comfortable in their ignorance. And if they're comfortable in their ignorance, that means your life is in jeopardy. Look, Virginia just got a new governor who's a staunch racist, in my opinion. New Jersey got a governor who's a staunch racist, in my opinion. There are 9 black women. There are 9 black women who are attempting to be governors throughout the United States of America. We need to support them. And then we need to hold their feet to the fire and kick their drawers and their behinds, so we can get some semblance of power. Some semblance of power. Y'all know I'm not really a vote guy, but in order to play a game, or win a game, you must know the rules to the game. If you know the rules to the game, you can dominate the game. You ain't trying to win, you're trying to dominate. You know. And with that being said, I want to thank y'all for supporting me again. If you have not already done it, go to YouTube, hit subscribe, hit share, hit the notification bell, and then hit that thumbs up like button. Go to Spreaker.com, built for this network. Subscribe, hit the heart. That's all I ask, man. I ain't asking for no money. But if you want to give me some money, you can. If you want to give me some money, you can. You know, I'm accepting donations to the church. It's church on the move, ain't it, man? Hey, man, I'm accepting donations, but if you know, all I need is subscription. All I need is subscriptions. You know, everything else will fall in place. You know what I mean? But if you want to donate to the church, donate to the church. But on the serious side, man, thank you for tuning in as you do every week. Thursday, we talking about we not talking about no heavy stuff. We gonna talk about name calling in the cookout. Name calling, responsibility in the cookout. Name calling, responsibility in the cookout. Y'all know what the cookout is. Not a real cookout, that fictitious cookout that we always inviting cool people to. That cookout. I want y'all to realize that, hey man, all skin folk ain't kin folk, so everybody who's skin folk don't get invited to the cookout. But what I also want you to do is this. I want you to do what you have to do to be as successful as you can possibly be and protect everything that's yours. I want to salute the people who give me inspiration. Outside, y'all know I acknowledge my family at the top of every show. So I want to acknowledge the people who inspire me on a daily basis. First and foremost is my man Lazy Lamont King. Lazy Lamont King on everything. Everything is funny. Everything is funny podcast, man. Lamont is super dope. Lamont is super dope, super dope. And I want to salute the Ghetto Boys. The Ghetto Boys podcast, Scarface, Speedy Recovery, my brother. Speedy Recovery, my brother. Scarface had a kidney replacement. His son gave him a kidney. That means you are a damn good father. If your son willing to pull something out of his body to give to you, that means you did something right. Salute to Brad. Get healthy soon. Tariq Nasheed is doing everything he can to open up a Black History Museum in Los Angeles, California. Salute to that brother. He's a dope brother. Got nothing but love for him. Nothing but love for Tariq Nasheed. And I want to salute Nori. Nori had the #1 podcast in the history of the world this week. He had Kanye West on there. If you want to check that out, I'm not going to check it out. I'm going to check it. I don't know if I'm going to check it out, but I love Nori. I've watched every other one. Ray Grady, when he has a podcast called Alpha Male, he's talking about being a grown man, not being a sucker, a simp, a clown, goofball, goofy. None of that. You just go be a man, or you ain't going to be around Ray Grady. Big ups to Ray Grady. Got mad love for Ray Grady. Super dope brother. I like Ray Grady. Inspirational brother. And then you got Craig Smith. Craig Smith is on right now. Craig Facts. The Craig with a K. Craig Facts. Craig Facts podcast. Check him out if you can. If you can check out Craig Facts, please do. The Craig Facts podcast. And then later tonight, you're going to have the homie Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb. 5150 show. If you know police calls, that means Corey Crazy, and we already know Corey Crazy. Super dope brother. Al Sharpton, Reverend Al Sharpton, Sister Heather B, the brother Clay Kane, my favorite personality on entertainment today, my sister Laree Daniel Favors. Sister Laree Daniel Favors, the walk-in history piece, goes by the name of the Black Eagle, Joe Madison. Dr. Greg Carter, leader of Africana Studies at Howard University. Howard University, I'm not really done with you, Bisons. We damn near need to boycott Howard University. Dr. Greg Carter, one of the dopest brothers out there. And the Queen Mother, Sister Karen Hunter. These are the things that we need to pay attention to on a regular basis, folks. And I want y'all to understand that every week I want you to do, as I said, salute to Reggie O'Shea. And I close out the show by saying, dream those dreams and man up and woman up and live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in Technicolor surround sound. I got a new intro today. I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is from a man from Tiger Park Podcast, super dope brother. He goes by the name of Big Mo. Y'all already know. This is one of the dopest joints I ever put together. Big Mo on the rhyme and the beat. HRap on the video. 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm out.
We lust for that cheese. We lose sleep, dreams of that green. We killing our teams. They down for this American politicians smuggling green, chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. She's stripping for change for school, now she giving it brain. She's used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain.
Mother.
Dreams of that green, we killing our teams. They down for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, the politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes, now his people can't eat. Now she giving him strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him tools to the brain. It's rules to the African name would be blamed. That's all a game, man. These Europeans thinking they claim that you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't. You thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Bullshit and making more, giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't.
You know what, man? I apologize for that. The internet acting real janky anytime we do something dope. The man is on our ass. But that was Big Mo. It's going to get played every week. If you ain't hear it this week, you're going to hear it next week. We're going to try it one more time and then we out. As a matter of fact,
we lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream, we killing our teams, they down for this American dream, them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends, we hustling trees. Got everybody stressing the streets, pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats, they writing them checks for tithes, now his people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brain. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him tools to the brain. There's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains to take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? That's all a game, man. These Europeans thinking they claim that you a victim of the game plan. You thinking they ain't. You thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children, all our leaders is slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas and he free. Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth and the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more, but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. Told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. All a game, man. These Europeans thinking they claim that you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't. You thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children. All our leaders is slain. It's all a game. We lust for that cheese. We lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teams. They down for this American dream. Them
It took 3 tries, but I got it.
I'm trying to listen to this fly ass beat, man.
I took 3 tries, but I finally got it to play, man.
Damn, man. That shit is dope, boy. This sounds better than I heard the last time, man.
Yeah, man. Mo killed that.